Elon Musk's approval rating isn't the only thing that's been declining, he's also dragging down the reputations of the companies he's associated with. If you look at the top 100 brands ranked by brand identity, the trend is striking. Nearly every company tied to Musk has seen a significant drop. Twitter might be an exception, but its ranking was already so low that any change is hard to measure meaningfully. Tesla, once a top-tier brand, has plummeted in the last year or two. Even SpaceX, which is less directly tied to public consumer interaction and mostly operates in the background launching rockets, has seen its brand perception fall. For Tesla, you could argue the decline is due to factors like high car prices, but the broader pattern suggests that Musk's personal brand is taking a toll on the companies he's linked with. The Cybertruck is ridiculous, but we'll get back to that. If even SpaceX's reputation is declining, what explanation is there other than its association with Elon Musk? Honestly, I don't think there is one. This is what happens when someone becomes so deeply unpopular, their personal brand starts to weigh down everything they touch. Let's look at the numbers. In 2021, Tesla ranked 8th among the 100 most visible American companies, a hugely respected brand. Last year, it fell to 63rd. Now, it's all the way down at 95th. It ranked dead last in character and scored near the bottom in ethics and citizenship. It's still on the list, technically, because it's so visible, but it's practically clinging to the bottom. Just 4 years ago, it was seen as a bold, innovative force. Now, it's rapidly becoming one of the most disliked companies in the country. The drop-off hasn't been quite as severe for SpaceX, but the trend is the same. They started at 48th and have now fallen to 84th, nearly as low as Tesla. At this point, Musk's companies are rubbing shoulders with some of the most disliked organizations in America, like Meta, which has been hated for over a decade, Spirit Airlines, and, my personal favorite, the Trump Organization, which sits dead last at 100th. Honestly, I think Axios was being a little petty by including the Trump Organization in that ranking, because let's be real, it's not even one of the top 100 most visible corporations. It feels like they threw it in just as something to stick at the bottom of the list. But still, look at where Tesla is, barely ahead of Spirit Airlines. And let's be honest, Spirit pretty much exists just to make people miserable mid-flight and to serve as punchlines for SNL's Weekend Update. That's the brand Tesla is now rubbing elbows with. Even SpaceX is getting dangerously close to that same neighborhood. At this point, you can't chalk this up to coincidence, this is clearly the Elon Musk effect. Which is probably why it makes perfect sense that he's now trying to distance himself from politics and clean up his image. You may have seen the headline, I'm sure you did, where Musk says he plans to spend a lot less on political donations. It's a clear effort to change the narrative, to stop people from seeing him as this billionaire villain trying to buy judges and undermine democracy. But here's the thing, we're not buying it. We know better than to take his word at face value. Remember early in 2024, when there was reporting that Musk planned to spend hundreds of millions on the election. And sure enough, he did exactly what he said he wouldn't. So when Elon Musk says he's going to spend a lot less on political donations, that promise means absolutely nothing. But we'll be watching, and we'll see. Personally, I hope the public's disdain for him keeps growing. And if that ends up dragging Tesla down with him, honestly, that might be the best thing for the company in the long run. They need to cut him loose. He's a weight around their neck, pulling them straight to the bottom. There is no upside to keeping Elon Musk at the helm anymore, whether he's spending on politics or not. And for the record, yes, I absolutely believe he'll keep throwing money around behind the scenes. Now, let's shift to another major factor damaging Tesla's reputation, the Cybertruck. Tesla has become a toxic brand for a lot of people, especially those who aren't deep in the mega camp. Let's talk about how the value of the Cybertruck has been tanking. After spending a full year refusing to accept trade-ins, Tesla has finally started offering estimates to Cybertruck owners looking to sell, and the numbers are brutal. They're now offering just $65,000 for a $100,000 Cybertruck purchase this year, in 2024. And get this, it only has about 6,000 miles on it. That's roughly 400 miles a month. Let's pause for a second and think about that. This is basically a brand new truck, barely used, and Tesla is knocking off $35,000 in value already. Now, sure, you could interpret that as Cybertruck owners just not using their vehicles very much. But I'm not here to dunk on them as weekend warriors who just wanted a status symbol. I think a lot of them would be putting more miles on the truck, if they could. But it's kind of hard to do that when your Cybertruck is stuck in the shop for weeks or even months at a time. So no, I'm not blaming the owners. The reality is, it's often an undrivable vehicle. That's on Tesla. And the resale value? It's just the latest sign that the hype was never going to match the reality. But let's get back to that drop in value. A 35% markdown on a truck that's barely a year old, that's brutal. For context, that kind of depreciation usually happens after 5 years with your average pickup. Trucks like the Ram, Silverado, or F-150, they lose value gradually. The Cybertruck, it's plummeting 5 times faster than normal. It was pure, unsubstantiated, smooth-brained hype, the idea that the Cybertruck would somehow defy every economic principle in automotive history. Aside from a handful of ultra-rare classic cars, no vehicle appreciates in value after being driven. And even in those rare cases, it takes decades. But somehow, Musk claimed the Cybertruck would be worth more after you used it than it was brand new. If you're an Elon Musk fan, a Tesla diehard, or a Cybertruck enthusiast, why aren't you furious with him? That statement was insane. He told people that buying a Tesla was an investment, but it would appreciate. And now? Not only did that not happen, but these trucks are losing value 5 times faster than other pickups. And it's not just the Cybertruck. Tesla vehicles in general are depreciating 3 times faster than other car brands. That's not speculation, that's what the data is telling us. Some argue this is an EV-wide issue, that electric vehicles have been losing value more quickly because of concerns about battery life or long-term reliability. Maybe. But Tesla's drop is steeper than the rest of the EV market. This isn't just about batteries or technology. It's about trust. And right now, Tesla's brand is in free fall. At what point does this rise to the level of something more serious? It was pure, unsubstantiated, smooth-brained hype, the idea that the Cybertruck would somehow defy every economic principle in automotive history. Aside from a handful of ultra-rare classic cars, no vehicle appreciates in value after being driven. And even in those rare cases, it takes decades. But somehow, Musk claimed the Cybertruck would be worth more after you used it than it was brand new. If you're an Elon Musk fan, a Tesla diehard, or a Cybertruck enthusiast, why aren't you furious with him? That statement was insane. He told people that buying a Tesla was an investment, but it would appreciate. And now? Not only did that not happen, but these trucks are losing value 5 times faster than other pickups. And it's not just the Cybertruck. Tesla vehicles in general are depreciating 3 times faster than other car brands. That's not speculation, that's what the data is telling us. Some argue this is an EV-wide issue, that electric vehicles have been losing value more quickly because of concerns about battery life or long-term reliability. Maybe. But Tesla's drop is steeper than the rest of the EV market. This isn't just about batteries or technology. It's about trust. And right now, Tesla's brand is in free fall. At what point does this rise to the level of something more serious? When the CEO makes bold, verifiable claims that appear intentionally misleading, just to pump up the stock price or drive sales, is that not grounds for a class action lawsuit? I don't know. But what I do know is this: nothing about this looks good for the Cybertruck, and it sure as hell doesn't look good for Tesla.